Excited about this topic. It's LinkedIn. The reason I'm doing LinkedIn because I'm approaching almost 10,000 followers. And I'm not saying that as like bragging because I've been using LinkedIn for a hell of a long time. I'm thinking about it right now. I've probably been using it for a decade now, maybe even longer than that. When it first came out, the resume, right? And put it up there and hopefully get some jobs and, get it out there from that perspective, from really a job market perspective. Well, obviously it's changed a lot. It's owned by Microsoft, as you probably know. And it's definitely one of those platforms that's B2B. And I continue to leverage it every single day to not only help grow my audience online, but to engage, educate, and influence my niche audience. And if you're not using LinkedIn, well, you should be using it. And if you're just starting to dabble in it, or you're trying to like figure out, hey, how do I optimize this thing? Well, I'm going to get into it here shortly, and I'm going to reference this article here up on the screen. It's with Neil Patel. You probably heard of him. There's some great tactics in here that I'm going to break down very quickly. But one thing I did want to mention here is this article. I just got an email. I'm in his database, and I believe I just got it this month at some time, but it's outdated. It talks about LinkedIn stories. So I'm going to update this on the fly, meaning like I'm going to mention a couple things that he doesn't mention that you should be including. And I'm going to put that in the description as well. One of the main things that Neil talks about here in this article is relevance, right? As a LinkedIn content creator, I'm trying to build that thought leadership, that trust, that value. And a lot of people don't post on LinkedIn. It's a real small percentage. So if you're trying to influence, engage your niche audience, it's a great way to start building that thought leadership. So the relevancy part of this is really determining your headline, your summary. I'll also include a link to my LinkedIn so you can see. And it's not just about, hey, I'm a B2B marketer, I'm an account executive. It's how you're helping people come to your page, right? It's like your brand page, it's your personal page, right? They're coming to that page to figure out, hey, should I do business with this person, right? So there's definitely things that you want to do from a summary perspective, from a headline perspective. So I'm going to include again my link. I'm not the only one that has a great profile. I'll include some other examples of other people's that I feel like, hey, this is a very appropriate profile from an optimization standpoint. The other thing is, when it comes to content. So if you want to get into the content game when it comes to LinkedIn, well, it's a great way because it's all organic and not all of it. You can do some paid ads to that too. But when you're a thought leader in the space and you're creating value for your audience and you're getting likes and comments and shares, well, it's definitely a great way to influence. So I talk to salespeople all the time, and obviously I'm a marketer, but I'm also talking to salespeople and letting them know like it's really hard nowadays to get in front of your audience like face to face. I think the pandemic really opened up account executives and sellers out there to be like, hey, I should be upping my game when it comes to LinkedIn. And how you do that is to become a thought leader in the space. So, in my opinion, the whole sales process has definitely changed, and it's more of, hey, how can you get that information out there in front of them when they're doing the research? So if you can start creating content on LinkedIn on a regular basis, and when I mean regular basis, it doesn't have to be 5, 6 times a week. I post anywhere from about once, sometimes twice a week. And I really leverage that post to my audience. So I do a lot of DMs. I invite people to comment to the post. So it's a great way to build that organic reach because right now, again, with that small percentage of people that are actually posting on LinkedIn, you have an opportunity to stand out amongst your competitors or the people that obviously are coming up against you on LinkedIn. So those posts, that's going to help gravitate. You're going to get more followers, more comments, more likes, more shares. The other thing that you want to be able to do is Neil mentioned this. And if you're familiar with Neil, he's a big SEO guy. So anytime you can include keywords for your audience, for your industry, in your post, in your headlines, in your actual copy of what you're putting out there, that's obviously going to help. So when someone's potentially typing in certain hashtags, that'll help too. So not only is it your SEO for the articles you're reading, but also on your actual profile. So when you're putting in your under your optimization for your summary for how you're helping businesses achieve their results, you definitely want to include some sort of keywords that are industry related. So when people are searching, it will definitely come up. The other thing you want to do is definitely, if you haven't completed your profile, make sure you've got a great image up there. Image is important, right? You're trying to develop that human to human connection. Make sure you have a really good headshot that's up there. I see this all the time where I go to LinkedIn and there's a person, they're sitting in the car and they just do a quick selfie. Yeah, that's not acceptable anymore, right? You've got your digital presence online, you've got your brand. So think about it that way when you're putting your information out there. This is your information. This is your brand. This is your face, right? So take the time to do some professional headshots, right? The other great thing about LinkedIn is it builds that audience, right? But when you build your audience, you want to engage with them on a regular basis. And what I mean by that is you can either do some direct messaging, like I was mentioning before, or you can just go on the people that you're trying to develop relationships with. If they're posting, go on there and really do an in-depth a reply back or a comment inside their LinkedIn post, because that's only going to help build that relationship. That person's going to see, wow, right? They're following me, they're understanding my business, they're commenting on certain things. And so for my niche HCP audience that I'm trying to engage, and it's really those B2B marketers out there, healthcare providers, those sorts of things. So when I'm seeing these posts, and usually they're at conferences and trade shows, and I'm commenting on there. So I'm trying to build that value, also trying to build that relationship, and also just trying to stand out amongst all the other competitors that I'm, competing with every single day that I'm on LinkedIn. So regular activity, and Neil mentions that in the post here too, or the article. The other thing that he talks about, LinkedIn stories are gone, so disregard that. He talks about recommendations and endorsements. Those are a lot less than what they used to be. You got to think about this too. So LinkedIn, they changed their algorithm, they changed features. It's a social platform. They're probably the slowest when it comes to updating things, right? They're not like Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. They're going to take their time. They're a slow moving Titanic out there. So they start saying, hey, we need to turn the wheels, right? Turn the ship around. And they yell, and then they take 6-7 months. So it's a slow platform, which you can definitely take advantage of these. So it's not changing as much as the other social platforms, which is nice. The last thing I'll leave you with is, if you really want to help, and this is one of the new features that they've launched probably in the last 3 to 4 months. Again, once they launch this type of solution, it could either stick or it could go away tomorrow. You never know. But it's collaborative articles. I'll include a link in the description below so you can check it out too. Collaborative articles are something that you can take advantage of because it's creating that thought leadership in the space. So they'll have an article. A lot of people can go in there and collaborate on this article, and then you can actually get a badge. And there's a lot of different industries that you can be like relevant in. And so I'll include that in the description as well. Judy Fox is another person you should be following on LinkedIn. She is much better at keeping everybody updated of what the bells and whistles and new features that are happening on LinkedIn. So I'll include her information in the description as well. Hopefully this has been valuable. Hopefully LinkedIn is something you're thinking about, or thinking about how you can optimize or at least take it to that next level. If this video has been helpful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.